Hi everyone, we're going to be discussing a new question pattern which is called word usage, right? Now, whether we are familiar with, words that we use on a daily basis or whether it's a new and unfamiliar word, what matters is, do we know the different ways in which the same word is used in different contexts, right? So, just to quickly give you an insight into what this question pattern looks like. Now, basically, you have a word followed by 4 or 5 sentences, right? And then we'll have to identify in which sentence the word is used incorrectly. So for a question pattern like this, what strategies will help us is knowledge on idioms and phrases, collocations, phrasal verbs, etc. will be very handy, right? So let's take a look at a couple of these questions and try and figure out, the answers. It's almost like finding error, right? Spotting the errors. It's just that the only difference is you're spotting the errors specific to the word given. That's all the difference is. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same strategies, right? So let's get started. Okay, so let's read the directions that we have. In each of the following questions, a word is being used in a sentence in 5 different ways. Choose the option corresponding to the sentence in which the usage of the word is incorrect or inappropriate, right? So the first word that we have is deal. And let's check out our options. Option A, he has a great deal of support from the people. Option B, his father deals in diamonds. Option C, deal with this complaint the way you feel fit. Option D, she was asked to deal 3 books to each student. And then we have none of the above, right? So, a couple of things here. If you look at option A you must be familiar with, right? Let's identify the phrase. He has a great deal of support. A great deal of something is almost a collocation, right? It's like saying, he offered me a great deal of money, for example, right? So you are familiar with an expression like this, a great deal of something. So you're following. So it seems correct, right? Let's look at option B. His father deals in diamonds. So this word deal in this context, can you quickly think or guess what meaning is this word bringing in this context? It's almost like, the business that this person is involved in, the father is involved in is diamonds. So it's the meaning that the context is giving is something to do with business, trade, right? So this also seems fine. Option C, deal with this complaint the way you feel fit. So here, what meaning is this context? This is again another collocation. You've heard people say, can you please deal with this right now? Or I'll deal with this a little later, not now, right? I'm kind of busy. So what are they trying to say here? Deal means handle, take care of it. Right? So again, that also seems fine. What about option D? She was asked to deal 3 books to each student. Now here, the usage of this deal is kind of funny. Something is missing. The right expression or the idiom, or I would say phrasal verb, is deal out. Right? In the context, what are we trying to say? She was asked to deal 3 books to each student. Basically, the meaning that the context is bringing in is, I want this person, she was asked to distribute these books, 3 books to each student, right? So deal out is the right phrase, which means distribute, right? So what's missing is out. So that's why option D is where the word is used incorrectly. So let's quickly recap some of the things that we've applied here, right? We've applied the concept of collocations, phrasal verb, deal out, right? And we've also trying to figure out the meaning that the context is expressing or giving out. So that's another important tip for you to keep in mind. So every time you approach this question type, 3 things that you can quickly do is, step 1, right? Look for collocations quickly, right? Step 2, look for phrasal verbs or idiomatic expressions, right? Step 3, understand the meaning the context conveys. Not necessarily in this order, right? You'd rather start with step 3, understand the meaning the context conveys first, and then look for collocations and phrasal verbs. Either ways, it's fine, but the point is that you need to apply all of these steps. Let's move on to our next one. So the answer for this is option D, is where the word is used incorrectly in the context. Tag. And if you notice, any question type for that matter, you'll have a basic level and then you'll have an advanced level, right? So it's important for us to be familiar with simple words as well as difficult words. So tag is our next word. Let's look at our options. If we have 4 sentences, option A, they tagged the telephone trying in vain to reach each other. Okay. Option B, the shirt was tagged at rupees 1,500. Option C, he moved on with several people tagging along. And option D, the teacher asked them to add a tag question to every sentence. Okay. So let's look at our options and see in which option this word is used incorrectly. Quickly. Option A, what meaning is option A giving? Now you could be familiar with telephone tag, right? Now telephone tag means basically, you're telephoning back and forth. 2 people. So let's say Tanveer and his friend, Ranveer. Okay. So Tanveer and Ranveer are telephoning back and forth. But they're not successful. They're not able to reach both of them. Right? But that's not what the context is saying, right? They tagged the telephone is not the right expression, in fact. So we'll keep that in the parking lot. Let's just make sure the remaining 3 sentences are correct. The shirt was tagged at rupees 1,500. So here, what you're basically saying is the tag that you see, right? When you go to purchase a new shirt or a pant or whatever it is that you purchase, it's just either a plastic attached to the new item that you're purchasing. The label, right? It classifies to identify, okay, this is the sale tags, basically, on any item that you purchase. So it's correct. Option C, he moved on with several people tagging along. In this context, what does it mean? To tag along means to follow closely or persistently. So you must have heard people say, hey, can I tag along? See, let's say you and your friends decide to go for a movie, right, after work. So another person walks up and they say, hey, you know what, I also want to watch that movie. So can I tag along? So can I come along? Right, they're kind of inviting themselves. Last option, the teacher asked them to add a tag question to every sentence. You should be familiar with this because we're familiar with question tags, right? She is pretty, isn't she? Right? We are familiar with this. If you have a positive statement, it follows with a negative question tag. If you have a negative statement, it follows with a positive question tag. We're familiar with this, so this also is fine. So the only option where the word is used incorrectly is option A. They tagged the telephone trying in vain to reach each other is incorrect. It's not like they're pulling the telephone. That's what the context is saying, but that's incorrect usage. Hold. Easy word again. Like I keep saying, what matters is if we know the different ways in which this word hold can be used in different contexts, right? What are all the phrasal verbs attached to hold? Or what are all the idioms or phrases attached with hold? Let's look at our options. Option A, can the roof hold all that weight? Option B, the restaurant holds 400 diners. Option C, the rule holds in most cases. Option D, let's hold till we have more data. Let's look at option A. What meaning does option A bring in? Can the roof hold all that weight? Right? What meaning? Basically it's saying, can it sustain the pressure, right, of that weight? Can it hold that weight? So I'm just writing the meaning that the word hold brings in this context, to sustain the pressure of the weight, right? So can the roof sustain the pressure of the weight? Option B, the restaurant holds 400 diners. Here again we're talking about it has the capacity, right, to be capable of holding. So we're following step 1, which is to understand the meaning this word brings in this context. Option C, the rule holds in most cases, which means what? It's valid, it's true, it's applicable, right? Last one, let's hold till we have more data. So here, what's the context? The context is basically telling us, hey, let's wait, right? I think we shouldn't proceed any further, but let's just wait and see if we can get some more information on this, right? So let's hold, meaning let's wait, probably let's delay, right? Let's not proceed right away with this. So the right phrasal verb though for that is not hold, but hold. Any guesses? Hold what? Something that brings the meaning of wait or delay. Let's hold. I'll give you 30 seconds. Let's see if you can come up with the word that follows hold. It's a phrasal verb, right? And I'm sure by now we know what a phrasal verb is, right? Verb plus preposition or an adverb. Okay, so hold off is the right word, right? To hold off something. please hold off while I try and finish this. Or please hold off till I get back to you with more information, right? The point is, we've heard people use these words, right? It's just that we need to be able to recollect and know when to apply this, right? We need to be able to understand, okay, these are not difficult words at all, if you ask me, right? Let's hold off till we have more data. So the right phrasal verb is not used here, and so that kind of disrupts the meaning in option D. So the sentence that is not giving us the right usage of the word hold here is option D.